Here.
Thank you to TISA, and thanks to everybody from Champions Way. We'd like to welcome everybody to another Champions Way webinar. This webinar will be pretty quick. This is one thing we're trying to do new for 2011 is doing webinars, taking 3 key takeaways. All right. That way you could leave with something and you're ready to go right into it when you get back. So this instructor development is actually a lead into our staff development course. If you haven't seen it on our Facebook page yet or in our community, we have a free online staff development course that will be starting February 1st. So you will be able to register for that. It will be free. We have some amazing people that will be helping us with that course, including Robert Drysdale, Master Ace Ramirez. They both are instructors in Muay Thai kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I will also be working with in that course along with Sensei Brooklyn. Some of you guys might know Sensei Brooklyn from Champions Way, and also the rest of the Champions Way team. So we're really excited about that course. And this will be giving you a little bit of a view of exactly some of the things we'll be covering in that course. So instructor development basics. Okay, the first thing is, guys, uh, I want to talk to everybody and explain to them. I've been doing this a long time. I've had huge staffs, okay, in both of my schools. It is absolutely probably the hardest thing to deal with. The staff, their families, okay, that come with it, the money that they want, all those different types of things, and that will be going over in this free online course. But in today's webinar, we'll be talking about instructor development basics. Okay, you're trying to develop an instructor and some basic things that they should be doing. So let's go right into it. What you're not going to take away from this webinar is pretty simple. You're not going to be taking away anything about personality and martial arts skills. It's really hard to change someone's personality, and it's also hard to, for me through a webinar to make someone a better instructor, like teaching. So we're not going to show you how to teach personality slash character. Also, we're not going to teach you how to be a better martial artist. So I want to make sure you understand that this is more just tips for school owners and some basic things you'll be able to take away, but we will not be going over personality, okay, character, and also becoming a better martial artist. That is really not what we'll be covering. The takeaways, we're going to right into it. Let's go to takeaway number one. Choosing an instructor to train. Before you start developing instructors, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. So 5 key points for school owners. And this is my recommendation. I'm sure there's other people that have been very successful, but I could tell you out of the 2 schools that we currently run, the best instructors we've developed from within. The people that we've taken from other schools, that have come in from other schools, uh, me personally, our schools, they have not worked out well for us. Okay. And I'm going to talk really briefly about the mistake that I made, that I've made several times when I've done this. Okay. Is the fact that when they come in, our schools have been pretty big, and I get excited and I want to hire them, and right away I'm giving them something they're not worth. Okay, they're not. What I say when I say that is that because of this, the school was there before them, so why are we giving them 600 hours a week? Well, so they can earn a living and so forth. Okay, but guess what? When you start making that your problem, okay, you will throw out hundreds or thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, and that has happened to me, wasting money on people that really don't deserve it. I've learned. I'm so selective now, even as busy as I am. Some things I'd rather do myself than even bother to try to train someone else. Okay. So that's my recommendation. I really think developing from within is the most efficient and effective way for a couple reasons. Number one, like you develop that instructor based on you. Okay. Not the way where they were trained by their instructor who went out of business. Okay. Or their instructor that is trying to grow something that it hasn't grown in 10 years. Okay. So if you're growing people from within and you're developing them into a person that you feel will be good for your school, I believe you'll have more success with that. And obviously, they're more loyal. Make them work their way up. Okay. The one question I have is, nowadays when I'm hiring somebody in the future, I want to make sure that if I'm going to war, if I'm going to battle, that person is going to be able to make it through it. Okay. And that would be really simple. That's somebody that isn't going to look at the clock at 7:30 and say that they can't do something because they're off the schedule. All right. Those types of people, you don't even want them. They will probably go nowhere in their life. Okay. You need people that are willing to go to war, willing to go to battle, people that are going to come in on a Saturday or Sunday without being asked because it's for the better of the school. They must believe in the teamwork principle, right? About being about the team, trying to grow the school, putting extra time in, right? These people that are not going to do that, they are going to be a waste of your time, complete waste of your time. The third thing is you must pay them on performance. Okay, so if they're, they need to make a certain amount of money, okay, then what I would highly recommend is starting them out with somewhere along the lines of 10 to 12 hours per hour, and then plus performance or slash commission. That way, you're not wasting your money, okay, like I have done in the past on people that really have done nothing, do nothing for your school at all, okay, and you're just paying them and helping them. It's like basically one of my mentors, well, my mentor, Master Frieda, told me it's like, giving them drugs. Okay. And, it might sound a little bit crazy, but it is. When you give someone drugs and they become addicted to it, they are worthless. They don't do anything. But when you pay for someone that doesn't really deserve it, okay, and really hasn't earned it, doing anything to grow your business, you're basically giving them drugs. So anyway, that's a great analogy from Master Fried. The next thing would be it's all about the team. You heard me talk about that. If they're always talking about themselves and worried about themselves and talking about their goals and like it's okay, that people have goals. We want them to have goals. But when it becomes financially, all they're talking about is what they need to make. They need this, they need that. They don't work. They end up not even working. All they do is just going around in circles, doing nothing about worrying all day about their future. Okay, and that's not the type of person we want to have for an instructor. And then the final thing is being a great martial artist does not make you a great instructor, right? In most cases, they're actually worse instructors. Okay, so don't think just because they're a champion, they took first place in a grappling tournament or whatever, any type of accolades that they have, that does not necessarily make them a great staff member or great instructor. So those are some 5 key points for school owners to think about. And like I said, this is just based on my experiences. Takeaway number 2. So this is the major part of the webinar. Okay, and this is something that you could use, and it's common sense. Okay, but a little bit needed for instructors that you're trying to develop. Okay, and it's the game plan. Right. Every class that you teach, regardless of style, okay, regardless of anything, it revolves around a system, not an instructor. Martial arts schools are personality driven. Okay, I understand that, but the system, everything you're doing should revolve around a game plan, not an instructor. So start with a basic game plan that you review with your instructor team each Monday. Make sure you review it daily and see if it can be broken. Whenever you're dealing with a system, okay, or any type of strategy, you want to make sure to see if it could actually be broken down and to make sure that it actually will work. So we're going to go over this game plan. We're going to talk about it. It's broken up in a couple different sections. And these are the things I really want you to focus on from this webinar. This is the bread and butter of what I want you to concentrate on. And you might already have some things like this in place, but if not, hopefully you take some of these things and add it to your repertoire. So think of yourself as an NFL coach. Okay, you're the owner, you're the coach. Okay, and I study NFL coaches. I think that they're really amazing individuals that have to deal with pressure and also putting their players, okay, which will be your instructors, in a good position, okay, and help them become successful. It's really up to you whether or not your instructors will become successful. So we started with just going over, who not to hire and things to look out for. But now, if you're that NFL coach, you're game planning, okay? Game planning is not Monday at 3 o'clock, 15 minutes before class. Game planning is on Saturday or Sunday, okay, for 2 or 3 hours, getting ready so that when you come in, there's a clear and concise goal of what you should be doing for that particular week. So let's go into the next slide here. What is the game plan? The game plan consists of the following. What is the scheme? What about the warm-ups of your classes? What about the martial arts conditioning part? Motivation and inspiration, lesson application, group practice, and then the post game. So when I say scheme, you can call it pre-game, okay, whatever, but it's more about, like preparing, like what is the game plan for the week? How are we going to win that week? Okay. What is going to, be the determining factors to make you win that particular week? That's what NFL coaches do on the weekends, okay? They're developing all week. They're preparing for their game. They're developing their scheme, offensive and defensive. You need to do the same thing for your martial arts instructors. The warm-ups, are you coming up with different ideas for them for each individual class so they know what to do, so they change up, they're not doing the same thing over and over again? Martial arts conditioning, what are we doing in the class? How are they, what types of drills are we doing to condition them? Motivation and inspiration, that comes from the coach. Providing your players with the motivation and inspiration. Okay, if you're not reading, if you're not learning, okay, then your instructors will not be either. And then the lesson, what are you teaching? What about the application? The group practice, that's your curriculum. And then the post game, reiterating to them what they learned. So let's talk about the scheme first. The overall weekly goal of what will be taught in class today and the rest of the week. So obviously it will depend if 1 week is strike week, if 1 week is review week, if 1 week is going to be, just basic week, whatever your scheme is for that particular week, making a clear outline of exactly what it will be. What character traits will you be teaching? Okay, that should be included in the scheme. All right. So you're focusing on life skills, if you're focusing on leadership, if you're focusing on, what are you focusing on that particular week? And then how are you going to talk about it? All right. One thing I like to do is talk about stories, of professional athletes. Okay. I always watch NFL Network. I hear a lot of stories. I do research online, and I could tell you, some great stories that you could use to talk about during classes. If you're talking about perseverance, okay, simple. You could relate to the students and talking about Michael Orr. Michael Orr was they made the movie about him from the Baltimore Ravens. This guy, he was poor. He had no parents, and he made it to the NFL. There's so many stories that go on like that. Devon Bess, okay? You could use so many different stories of athletes, okay? You could use stories of individuals, of how they overcame adversity, all right? Just go online, look for those types of things. I'd recommend 3 to 5 of them per week. Different stories, different motivations of people, and related to martial arts, okay? Those are some good things you should do every single week. What research have I done to improve my students' fitness and life skills? Okay, so that's important. What are you doing every single week? Are you doing the same thing over and over again? All right, or you're coming up with new material, ways to inspire them, way to motivate them. What about books they could read? Different things like that. The head coach should be planning on Saturday and Sunday, not an hour before classes. So developing your scheme for the week. Okay, next slide. Let's go to that. The warm-up and martial arts conditioning. The warm-up of your class should be about 5 to 7 to 10 minutes. It should include class-appropriate stretches, basics, quotes on the tip of your tongue, having quotes in that warm-up, okay? One-liners, okay? What are we looking for, class? The look of a black belt sensei, okay? What's our goal, class? Black belt excellence sensei. Different one-liners, okay? It's not what you get, it's what you give, okay? Different quotes, okay, that you can come up with and use in your warm-up. Clap it in. All right, one of my favorite drills that I've done for years now is when we're running the classes, I have my students clap it into me like a sports team. So they clap it in and they go to seating position 1 where they're down on their right knee and their hands on their left knee. Or they clap it in and then I go really quick. I'll say within about 8 to 10 seconds, guys, I'm looking for effort. Could you guys give me effort? Yes, and say. Okay. Great. Let's go back to position. They clap it back. All right. That's for like a kid's class. Clap it in. Treat it like you're running a team. That's what you're doing. It's a tryout to become a black belt. It's a tryout to become whatever belt you're running in your style. But those are the types of motivation that needs to be in there. One-liners, quotes on the tip of your tongue, clap it in, motivation. Okay, things of that nature. Martial arts conditioning. 5 minutes of the class. Fitness aspect of the martial arts. This can include line drills, pad work, and races. So what I'm saying here is, don't forget to do the conditioning. There's nothing worse than having a martial arts class. You did your warm up, and you're not going into striking, hitting targets, races, conditioning, anything like that. Incorporate 5 minutes of that into your warm up. Now, these things we're talking about, this is your job to provide them with every single week. Okay, when they get into class, what are the warm up drills? What are the one-liners? What are some things we need to do? We spend so much time on marketing and so much less time on teaching that we have to make sure that we're working on this as well. Okay, next slide, the huddle discussion. All right, the huddle discussion is like the weekly quote, okay? Or if you're clapping in, it can be either or, okay? Our weekly quote we're recommending now is to put that on your web social and to get your students going to that, driving them. That's one of the key ways of driving people to your social networks. Taking that huddle discussion, talking about it, and then saying, guys, please go to our blog, all right, go to our website, go to our member section, go to blog. I want to hear your comments, okay? I want to see what you think about our huddle discussion or our weekly quote, all right? So the huddle discussion, what is it? Okay, what message are you trying to deliver? So, for example, if my quote is hustle beats talent if talent doesn't hustle, right? That could be my simple quote for the week. Hustle beats talent if talent doesn't hustle. What I'm trying to say is, you know what, guys? You need to start working harder. You need to start hustling. You need to start moving. You need to start getting a little more motivated, okay? But I take that message and I explain it to them in a different way. But that's really what I'm saying to them is, let's go. Everyone's going to start hustling a little bit more, all right? So you explain it. Keep it simple and make it quick. What is hustle? Okay. Hustle means working hard. Hustle means, driving yourself. Okay, great. All right. What's talent? Talent means someone that has a lot of natural ability. Okay. So the hustle beats talent if talent doesn't hustle. What am I saying? Right. And then you let them explain. Okay. You let them, talk about it for, maybe 30 seconds. Go right into it. All right. And then drive them to your quote board on your blog off web social. Could you hear me now, Tatis? I'm sorry, did you lose sound? Okay, are we good now? Okay, guys, if you could hear me, just type yes in the box because my microphone is working. Yes, guys, or no? Did you guys hear me? Okay, guys, if you could hear me now, just type yes in the box, please. Sounds like we lost some sound there. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So anyway, Dan, what we're talking about here for the huddle discussion, okay, I'm not sure where I lost you, but was, like I use the huddle discussion, okay, to drive people to my blog. All right, and what message are we trying to, explain to them, relate, talking about life, school, and relationships, okay? The quote, how can we use it for life, school, and our personal relationships? And then finally, don't overdo it. There's nothing worse, guys, than doing like a quote or some type of motivation and then sitting there lecturing for about 45 minutes. It's, 3 to 5 minutes at the most, okay? And then the lesson. So now we get into our lesson planning. What we are learning that is 10% new from last class, okay? So whatever we taught, yesterday, we want to keep making sure they're learning something new. Learning something new is what keeps them coming back, right? During the lesson, they're learning their basics, they're learning their self-defense, and they're also working on their skill building, okay? And we're also educating them. Okay, that is your job, is to educate them on martial arts, educate them on life, educate them on everything. It's all incorporated into the lesson. And the next thing too, guys, I'm not in my schools as much, and I really wish I was. I mean, it's really tough. I love teaching, but as an instructor, use the mirrors, take a dry erase marker, write analogies up there, write diagrams, show them. Use handouts. All right, surprise them, have a pop quiz, PowerPoints. Okay, if you have a projector, do something with them special. How about magazines? Okay, I take out Black Belt magazine all the time. All right, and I show them Black Belt magazine, and it's been pretty cool. I could show them like my articles that are in there, or I could show them a cool exercise that I found in one of the fitness magazines. Okay, books, recommending books for them to read, stories, videos. Okay, using your iPad. All right, it's becoming a lot more like that. Okay, you need to use different tools. If all you're doing is standing there punching and kicking all the time, it's not going to be as effective or as efficient. Incorporate the parents, give them the same things. Okay, you're constantly selling during your lesson. Okay, why are we paying you? Are we paying you to count? Or are we paying you to teach our children? Or are we paying you to teach us, not just counting? So whether you're teaching kids or adults, that's what should be incorporated during the lesson. And then lesson application. How do we apply what we just learned? Right. So give examples. Talk. If you're showing a move, then you have to show them why. Okay. How they could use it. Reinforce the lesson. People tend to remember information when it is applied. In kids' classes, make sure parents are being taught as well. Okay, teaching them the importance of doing different things. As you're ending your class, you go over and you make sure you do your announcements. And then you talk to the parents and explain everything you just taught. Hey guys, we did, parents, thank you so much for attending today. We appreciate you taking the time to drive your children to the school. Okay, a couple things we went over today. We just want to make sure that you actually are on top of this and you're ready. Okay? All right, so review at the end of the class with parents what was taught. That's a really important topic. Okay, then finally, group practice, okay, which is your curriculum. The part of the class where students learn their required curriculum. If you don't have a required curriculum, you're going to find yourself really all over the place, and it's going to make it a lot easier to develop staff. So this is the part of the class where students learn the required curriculum. It's usually done by breaking them up into groups, or it can be done with a rotating curriculum, and then disguise the repetition, teach the same thing 5 different ways. Teaching the tricks of the trade, all right? Praise, correct, praise. Wow, that was a great kick. That was really great. You know what? I want to show you one thing to make it even better. Then they do it, and then there you go, okay? Sure, I can go back one slide, Blaine. It's called group practice, okay? The curriculum, all right? This is where you're teaching your curriculum, all right? And you're breaking up into groups, or if you're rotating it for people that don't have as many staff members, and then disguising the repetition, teach the same thing 5 different ways. You can teach a front kick, you can teach a triangle choke, you can teach, so many different ways of teaching it. You can do it on a target, you can do it on a person, you can do it drills that relate to it. There's so many different ways you could do it. Sorry, getting back to the tricks of the trade. Praise, correct, praise. We all know that. Praise, ask praise. That's the only thing that's different with that is, you praise them, and then you ask them if they want help with improving, okay? And then you praise them again. Okay, public praise, private reprimand. Sometimes when we have a student that's not doing so well, we don't want to embarrass them in front of everybody. We want to do it actually in private. And you also always try to get the parents in there if it's a child. That way you could explain to them, that you're concerned about their focus or their concentration. Demonstrate, always demonstrate. Okay, the worst thing for an instructor is not demonstrating the technique. Teach the why, okay? Why do we do this? Highlighting your C students, okay? Your A students, we know they're going to come back, okay? Your C students, they're the ones that need the most attention during classes. They're the ones that need the most reinforcement. They're the ones that should be the leaders. Those are the ones that you should be highlighting all the time, talking about how good they're doing, bringing them up to an A student, okay? Students with ADD in the front, okay, that's where they should be in the front, not in the back, okay? You don't put the child that has the most attention challenges in the back of the room. They should be in the front of the room. Special attention after the class. Are you looking at your students and saying after class, who could use some special attention? Okay, going up to the parent and saying, listen, Mrs. Johnson, I was wondering if you'd be okay if I worked with Jimmy for a little bit, okay? I'll just, free of charge, of course, just to help them out. Takeaway number 3, Instructor Development Weekly Class. So that is the system, and you could just watch the webinar and go through it and use the handouts. That's not a problem. But the final thing we're going to go over today is our Instructor Development Weekly Class. Key points for this: make it mandatory for all your staff. Weekly 45-minute class. Ask parents of instructor under the age of 16 to attend and watch. All right, that way they can see what you're trying to do, and it's important to get the parents to see the value of what you're teaching them. All right, really, if you could be a martial arts instructor, okay, you could be anything. You really can. So it's important for the parents to see that. All right, to see that what you're teaching them, how to handle people, how to talk to people, all these different things. It's really cool. Have an outline of how they will go through the process of volunteering to become a paid staff member. Okay, you shouldn't be paying 14 and 15-year-olds, and they shouldn't be your full-time staff. Okay, but eventually, if that's what you're relying on to help out, make sure they go through like a 3-month training program that we'll be talking about later. Okay, some of the other things we'll be adding throughout the year, instructor development courses. It is a numbers game. If you train 10, you might get 2. If you train 10, you might get 1. Okay, you have to understand, if you're trying to develop staff, it's a numbers game. Okay, it's like trying to get people for the Black Belt Club. All right, you have to make sure that you have the right fit. Develop 15 and get 1 or 2. That will be efficient. Do I charge for it? Do you charge for this weekly instructor class? That's your call. Okay, I don't. Some people do. Some people have instructor development courses where they charge for it. Okay, it's a lot harder nowadays than it was before. Okay, but it's all about the perceived value. If you can show them the value they're getting, you can charge for it. And then what about my current staff? This is our final takeaway for today. Key points: never stop educating your staff. Make sure they are tested. Okay, enroll each staff member in our free online course for staff development. And then finally, guys, leave you with one of my favorite rules. And this is just so true, and it really is. It's called the 70-20-10 rule. Okay? And it just works. And this is by Jack Welch. Okay? when you're trying to develop staff, okay, this is a really simple rule. 70% of them, okay, are gonna basically gonna go in one of two ways. They're either gonna become the 10% or they're gonna become the 20%. So if you have 10 staff members, 7 of them are either gonna become a member of the 20% or the 10%. Now, the 20% are the people that are the die-hard people that have your back, that care about you, that will never quit, that love your school more than you do, okay? Or just as much as you, right? The other 10% need to be fired right now. Yeah, right now they need to be fired. It could be because of the pay. It could be because of their effectiveness. Is because they have too many emotional and mental problems of their own that they're not focusing on their job, okay? It could be just because they should be fired because their classes stink. So the 70-20-10 rule, find out how many staff members you have. The 70%, sure. The 70% are going to go one of two ways. 70% of the people you have working for you are going to go one of two ways. They're either going to go to the 20%, which are the die-hard people, the ones you could definitely depend on, or they're going to go to 10%. 10% should be fired. So 10% of your staff right now should be fired. 20% of your staff is super dedicated and they're the best. The other 70% that you have, they're either going to make it to the 20% or they should be fired as well. So that's the Jack Welch 70-20-10 rule, and it's definitely on. So I can tell you right now, I have like 7 staff members. Okay, so that means 20% of them are diehards. The other 10% should be fired, and I know the ones right now that should be fired. I have one right now that should be fired. All right, you have to have the right mixture, guys. It really is tough. Okay, so those are the key points. The staff development course. This is our flyer for it, and you can go to championsway.com/free course. Excuse me. This is our free staff development online course. Okay, and we'll be covering the 2011 front desk job description, daily duties, and reports. And same thing for program directors and instructors. Also, how your front desk program directors and instructors should be prepared for social media. The instructor training system we went over. We will be going over more about that. Okay, and there's also a review and exam for each position that you or your staff can go through to be tested. Okay, so that was our staff development online course, free through Champions Way. For those of you that missed our social media online training course, okay, we have another one coming out in March for that as well. Okay, so just some great resources again through Champions Way besides our webinars, some free online courses, which will have a lot of other instructors helping out for that as well. Okay, and that's it. So now we'll open the forum for some questions. And then after that, I will actually be going through a tour of the ChampionsWay Library. That is the actual where the course will be. So I'll show you a little bit about that. And if anybody wants to check out the ChampionsWay Library, you can hang out and check it out. If not, guys, thank you for attending. Okay, I'll go over one more time for the 70-20-10 rule. Okay, pretty simple. Let's start first, the 10%. 10% of your staff needs to be fired right now. Okay, right now. 20% of your staff, okay, are the diehards, the people that will never leave you, the people that are awesome. The 70% of your staff, okay, they are not sure where they're going yet, but they're going to end up in either the 20 or the 10% rule. Meaning that we don't know, that the jury is still out on them. They haven't decided that they want to commit to you to be a martial arts instructor or whatever, so you're not really sure about that. So again, 10% needs to be fired, 20% are diehards, 70% are not sure where they want to go. Okay, guys, any other questions, please type them in the box. Okay, what's keeping that one you want to fire? Right now, Sensei, to be honest with you, I really don't want to have to worry about teaching this one class. It's a morning class that I really don't want to teach until I can until I can find someone else that can get cover that class. I really got to keep them on. Derek, do you have all your instructors meet at the same time each week? Yes, we do a staff meeting for our full-time staff on Mondays. Okay, that's at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we do a 3:30 staff meeting before all of our classes with our head instructor. Rob, with the lesson application, what specifically are you covering if the group practice curriculum comes after that? With the lesson application, What specifically are we covering if the group practice curriculum comes after that? Well, it could be like that's why we have our plan for the week, Rob. So that way, we have an idea of what we're trying to focus on in each individual class. So it could be something that they're weak at. It could be something we think they need improvement at. If we have a tournament coming up that week, it could be something about a tournament. So that's why planning in advance, along with your events calendar, see what's coming up. That would be the most efficient way to do it. That's what we do. Blaine, what helps a student learn when they become skilled enough to teach for you? What helps a student learn that they have become skilled enough to teach for you? I think I'm understanding your question, Blaine. What helps a student learn that they have become skilled enough to teach for you? Well, for me, like obviously it's the curriculum. Okay, the curriculum and doing a warm up. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but that's kind of what I would say. That's when I know someone is skilled enough to teach for me. They could teach the curriculum. They know the curriculum inside and out. Okay, they could talk you through the curriculum. All right, and also, like I said, they actually could do a warm up, and they could handle parents. They could at least speak to parents and handle basic questions. Sorry if they're not too confident. How can they help you see what they will? Oh, if they're not too confident, how can you help them see that they will be a good teacher? Blaine, I'm thinking just positive reinforcement. Maybe video taping and recording some of their classes, and then just helping them, just like they do in the NFL. Like we know they're going to make mistakes, so it's okay. You know what I mean? So just like building that confidence from within them. You have some kind of instructor certification with staff members to see where they're at in taking over a class. We have staff training every month, Sensei. Staff training for our instructors that work for us. And yes, my instructors evaluate them. I work with my instructors. My instructors evaluate the part-time and the full-time instructors. Yeah, I mean, you know what, Bryce? Like, I have a different opinion on leadership training. I mean, I know there's tons of ways of doing it. I believe leadership training should be taught in every class. Okay? Like, I think that, instead of charging for a program and teaching leadership, I wrote on like that personally. I mean, I know some people do it. That's just not my approach. I mean, you can do it. But our staff training, we don't charge for it. You can say that's leadership training, but I don't have a separate class where I charge for leadership training. I want my instructors to be great. I want them to be leaders, and we work together to train them. Okay, guys, if there's no other questions, please type them in the box. If not, I will show everybody where the actual course is, and you can check it out. Yeah, thanks, Bryce. That's my opinion. Thanks, Chris. Let's see. 22, 36, 36, 18. Average, I'd say about 21. We don't have many kids teaching for us. I like to wait till they're like 17 at least to teach. To me, driver's license, they then should start teaching. But it's okay if you have some SWAT helpers for 16 and other ages like that. Yeah, Brian. Okay, guys. Well, unfortunately, I have another webinar I have to do in about 15 minutes. So we're gonna, end this. Okay, well, with the questions and answers. And if anybody wants to hang out for the next 3 minutes, I'm just gonna do a brief tour of the ChampionsWay Library. Okay, and that's it. Oh no, Bryce, they're all pre-selected. Yes, they're all pre-selected. Okay, TISA. So I'm gonna, if you could just real quick stop sharing the screen, or I'll do that, and then I'm just gonna do a quick tour of the library. So that way, if you guys want to do our stat development course, you'll understand how it works and how to use it. And that's it for today. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. Okay, guys. So if you want to register for our stat development course, or if you want to see our ChampionsWay Library, this is what it is. I just want to take a minute to go through this, guys. So let's check it out real quick. All right. So this is the ChampionsWay Library. All right, and we have 3 different features in the library. We have our Learning Center, our Doc Center, and our Virtual School. And if you notice here at the top, you have our courses. So you click courses. Okay, and then you'll see the icons for the different courses we have. So if you notice, we have Building Your Team, Dominate the Internet, Marketing, Month-to-Month Marketing, Perfect Mind Getting Started, Sales 2.0, Social Media 3-week course, Student Retention, The Bare Necessities. This was the social media marketing course that we just had over 250 schools go through and register for. And it's broken up into a couple different categories: getting started, strengthen your social networks, measure your marketing, review, and an exam. So if you went into getting started, it would take you through it. It would show you how to get started with the course, all right, with videos and different things. Let's give it a second to load up here. And here's all the contents. So if you clicked on here, evaluation, that was your social media evaluation. What is social media? Social reach. Why social media will not work. Facebook 101. These are all the different contents for the getting started section, and also 2 recorded webinars you can watch. So if you went into here, if you wanted to see social reach, gives you an idea of what social reach is with some videos and a review section. Okay, you're able to go through it and watch the video. Pretty cool stuff here. Okay, that's how the course works. And then the good thing is, as you go through each individual section of the course, eventually it will lead you to an exam. So at the end of the course, all of our participants go through here. They click new exams after they've completed all the content. All right, and we're really excited to show everybody this because there's no one else that has anything like this. All right, it's really cool. And then you select the test you want to take. There's 3 different sections. Getting started, you click that. What that will do is upload all of your questions for that particular part of the exam. And in 1 second there you go. There's all your questions, multiple choice, some trick questions in there. And then you select the answer. And then you save it. And then our consulting team or development team will mark it, and then you get mailed back your test scores. So that is how our courses work. Now the next course will be our staff development course. You'll see an icon over here. And then we have another social media course coming up. So these everything in here for our staff development course will be for program director, front desk, and instructors, along with videos. We're real excited about that. So those are how our courses work. And if you also went to our doc center, okay, this is where all of our marketing materials are. All of our marketing materials and documents that you could use as a school owner, they're already pre-made for you in here. Here's all of our ads. We have ads for every different style. Okay, they're all ready in all different formats, hundreds to select from. Okay, they're all done for you already. And then our virtual school, which is pretty cool, it's also included. It is actually videos of every different type of martial arts, and we're constantly adding to this. We have some different instructors on teaching, Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, Filipino arnis, weapons, a lot of cool stuff in here. You can watch whatever videos you want. So that is actually our Learning Center, Virtual School, and Doc Center. And if you have any questions, guys, or you're interested in becoming a member of our ChampionsWay Library, oh, thanks, Mike. I appreciated that. You could let us know. We have a special going on right now. You actually get the first month free. Okay. And if you're interested, just type in the chat box, and we could have one of our sales team members take you through an entire tour of the ChampionsWay Library. In addition to that, we have virtual meetings for school owners on Mondays, okay, at 2 o'clock Eastern, where I go over all the different things you should be focusing on in your school. And then we also have our business basics course as well. So if anybody's interested in the library, you can just type in the box, and we can give you a tour of the ChampionsWay Library. Okay, guys, if there's nothing else, then we'll be logging off. So if anyone's interested, great. If not, guys, make sure you register for our free online staff development course. No worries, Derek. I'll talk to Samantha, and we can take care of that for you.